welcome to Top Secret TV. My name is David Becker. On tonight's show, Mark and Carla get out and about at the recent Mind, Body and Spirit Festival, which was held at the Melbourne Exhibition Centre. They interviewed various groups and stall holders about their esoteric specialties.
Hi, we're here at the ISET stand, which is the Integration and Self-Empowerment Therapy. What we're watching now is a holistic healing therapy, and it's chakra balancing. Now, I've got Rosemary here to tell us how and what's going on. If you could just tell me a little bit about what's happening right now.
The energy centres are 7 major ones throughout your body, and there's about 280 little ones as well. And what Peter's doing is he's balancing them with using colour and using a pendant. And what we're doing is using the pendant to get into the energy. They whirl around in a circle. So with the way the pendant moves shows us if there's a blockage or something in the chakra. It swings side to side, or it may go backwards, or it may go in an oval instead of a circle.
What would happen if one of your chakras wasn't balanced?
Well, it means that you've got something either physically wrong in your body in that area or an emotional thing in that area. The ones that he's done so far are the crown chakra, which is the top one, which is your connection to the universe. This one is your intuition. If you hear the phone ring and you know who's there, you're using that chakra.
Oh, right.
Right? This one's for communication, and it's also to do with creativity. So artists are usually using the throat chakra really well because they're creating. People who get a lot of sore throats, they either need to speak to somebody, they've got something to say to someone, or they're not doing something creative in their life. They're going to work, coming home, sleeping, going to work, coming home, sleeping, and then they end up with sore throats. Oh. So they need to do something creative in their life.
Now, where are we at now?
He's now doing the heart one, which is to do with love and forgiveness. So that's where a lot of people have problems, of course, because we can't forgive people, we can't love ourselves, and we can't forgive ourselves.
Right, and do all these chakras have their own special colours to correspond to them?
That's right. The colours are down there if you want to.
If we can see that on the chart.
Yeah. And they've all got a colour that goes with them, but we can use the colours. If you see on her head there, We're not actually using the colour of that chakra, but we're using white, which is all colours, and we're also using blue, which is the positive side is communication. So maybe she needs to communicate more with her intuition, within herself.
Right. So everyone basically will have something different here with colours placed upon them, according to how they.
It's not very often that you put actually the matching colours. You're usually guided to put something else on.
To balance that out, I suppose.
Yes,
right.
Because you're using the positive aspects of that colour. Like red we use a lot because it represents strength and courage that you need in your life. So we use that a lot to strengthen all of the chakras.
Right. Now, would people notice an immediate change after having a therapy like this?
Yeah, they get up blissed out.
Right. So it is a euphoric sense of well-being afterwards.
And what it does, it balances your body so that your body says, hey, that's what I'm supposed to be like as a human being, is balanced. Right? And then it says, well, what did I use to get that feeling of being balanced? I used the endocrine system or the nervous system or all the other systems that are in your body. So then it says, oh, I'll remember that. Next time I want to feel good, I'll make that work the same way. So the more you have a chakra balancing done, the more your body becomes aware of what it should be like.
Now, I know it's probably an individual thing, but do people find they need to do this regularly, or...?
You can have a big emotional shift from just one chakra balance, because what we're doing is actually Peter's tuning into the things that are there and talking to the person about any blockages they've got there, and often that will start a change in the person's life. But you can have this done every day. You can learn to do it yourself. You just do it with your hands.
So it is a very self-empowering thing.
Yes.
And do the practitioners have to study for something like this for a long time?
Well, this is only a very small part of integrated self-empowerment therapy. It's just something that we could do here today to show people. But the therapy itself, you can do kinesiology, you do past lives, you do chakra balancing, you do guided imagery. There's lots of things that we put together to make a package for people. So this is a very small part of it.
And where can we find you? Where can the local people find you around?
The Holistic Centre's in Mount Waverley, and I've got a centre which is called the Joseph Maris Centre, which is in Essendon. And I do the therapy there.
And you're open all the time for people? Oh, that's fantastic.
We also do meditation groups, and we teach people to become psychic and to develop their own healing powers as well.
Which is fantastic. We all like to be empowered, don't we? Well, I thank you very, very much for your time. It's been fascinating, and I hope that people will follow up on this if they find that they want to try something.
Hi, we're here with Brett Green, and he's promoting spirulina at the Mind Body Spirit Show, and he's just going to tell us a little bit about it. So what is spirulina?
Spirulina is an algae actually grown in Hawaii, and what it does, it is produced into a powder. We actually have some powder down below here, and it actually contains so many nutrients that the body really don't get from a lot of their food, from a lot of your food. It actually comes in tablet form as well, and they just add silica to that. And there's a new product with flakes, and flakes have got 5% lecithin added to it.
So what are the benefits of the spirulina?
Well, benefits, it just provides the body with what you actually need that you may not get from food, and a lot of athletes use it for because it's got the amino acids in it.
Right.
A lot of the vegetarians use it because it has iron and B12 in it as well, vitamin B12.
Right.
So, and it's very varied in just its use. Most people use it as a supplement. It's a natural food.
Just to
So
add into your diet more than to
add
take
into the
it
diet,
over?
yep. And some people prefer the tablets. You've got to really taste the powder before you actually... have you tasted it before?
I've tasted a spirulina bar, but I haven't tasted the powder.
Well, how
no.
about we get some for you?
Alrighty.
Have a bit of a taste here.
Always into something daring, a bit of spirulina.
Okay, this is with apple and blackcurrant juice,
Alrighty.
and you'll find that it tastes just like apple and blackcurrant rather than...
Let's
if you had
hope-
it with water, it might be a bit strong for you.
Let's hope
so-
it doesn't taste like green stuff. Definitely black currant and apple juice. That wasn't it's bad, that was just I'm getting it down. Beautiful.
Okay, now another point...
So that's how it's administered every day?
Yeah, administered every day, usually
Right.
1 to 3 teaspoons a day you take.
You didn't even taste that actually, did
No, you didn't taste that, no. You would taste it in water though, it's very strong taste.
Right.
But you must know though that this brand here, the Hawaiian Pacifica, is the only certified organic one in the world.
right.
And you'll find
So
that
is that where it comes from? Or they say it's not
from
in
Hawaii.
polluted waters?
Yes,
Is
we
that-
have. I don't know if your camera can get that, but we actually have photos of where the plant is in Hawaii.
Right.
The company's called Sinotech, and that's where it's manufactured, and they make the whole thing there, and we actually get it in finished product as it is here.
Beautiful.
So that's it. It's a nice blue label and sells in all the health food shops.
Alrighty, so if you want a bit of spirulina, go out there and have a look in the health food shop. Thanks, Brett.
No
Thanks for your
worries.
time.
Thank you. Bye.
Now, Barry, can you tell me a little bit about the origins of some of these masks?
Well, I've got a friend here in Ghana his family makes them in Ghana and just imports them, so he just brings them over for us. Other than that, they're just native just native art.
What types of wood are they carved out of?
It's just it's a natural. I can't really tell you that, but
All different types of...
no, it's all the same. It's a type of mahogany.
Right, right.
What we also have is these.
Now, what are these?
These are called Unison. It's carved out of one piece of timber, and as you can see, like, it's pretty amazing. And what they're used for is just coffee table legs, put a bit of glass on top, and they sit flat, and quite a spectacle. A bit of work goes into
Now,
them.
they're carved by hand,
Yes, all carved by hand. And yeah, directly imported from Ghana.
and that's a one piece.
One piece of timber. That's just one piece of timber like that. They start carving it, and as they carve it out, they open it up and keep carving, and bingo.
That's fantastic. Can you get a good shot of that? And what about this little fella here? What's the story with his head? I was noticing he looks a little bit like our alien greys if you have a look at this big head. Is there any special significance to this fella?
No, it just goes along their basic natural symbolism, like their religion's just very basic and down to earth. Very simple people, very simple values, which is what more people need. We make our lives too complicated, and these guys know how to get back to earth.
They still live very traditionally,
Yes.
obviously.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And how much of this is brought over to Australia, say?
Well, this is the only stuff that comes over to Australia that I know of, because it's his family that makes them. So he brings them over and he sells them to us.
Kay here, and she's going to explain to us some of the things she's made down at the Unison shop here at Mind Body Spirit. Maybe we could start off with the dream catchers. I think they're dream catchers.
Right. This is a dream catcher here, and it traditionally came from the Chippewa people, and you hang them above your bed, and the idea is that the good dreams go through the hole in the centre of the web down to the person sleeping below, and the bad dreams get actually caught in the web in the bead. And in the morning when the sun comes up, the bad dreams disappear because it's symbolic of a spider's web. When the dew sits on the spider's web and the sun comes up, the dew melts.
Very interesting.
And
do you get any, have you had any good personal experiences with it? You don't have nightmares or anything like
I've
that?
actually sold them to a lot of people who've been having nightmares, and they said they really do work. And I put a lot of prayers into them. They're made very
That's great.
traditionally. Yeah.
Oh, that's so you get right into the tradition.
Yes, yeah,
that's
very
good,
much
isn't it?
so,
Because that's
yes.
where probably the intent comes from in
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yes.
All right, is there anything else here that you have created?
Yeah, the 4 windshields here, they represent the 4 directions on the medicine wheel. It's the wheel of life,
Right.
and they can be hung in your home for protection. Yeah, they represent the 4 races of man, the yellow man, the red man, the black man and the white man, all coming together, the Rainbow Warriors joining together
Has that
as
been
one.
a part of Indian culture for a long time?
Very much so, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
we're all catching up slowly but surely.
Yeah.
G'day. We're here with Matthew Hutchinson from EcoStream. I think his company's promoting a water... Well, you tell us what it is. That's probably the best way.
It's a water re-energising system. It puts a range of frequencies back into water which occur in nature for healthy natural water, which are lacking in municipal water.
Right. So what's a frequency for the viewer?
Well, a frequency is a vibratory oscillation. In other words, water is a living organism and carries information and frequencies, and we take it in, and it has a beneficial effect in our being, as vibration in essence permeates everything. We are more or less dense vibrations. So this water, what it does is it takes depleted tap water, which it may chemically test pure, but if you test it energetically and it doesn't have those frequencies in it, it's just going to wet your whistle, so to speak, without actually doing anything beneficially from an energy point of view.
Now, whose invention is this?
An Austrian naturalist, inventor called Johann Grander, stumbled onto this quite by accident about 15 years ago. He was trying to do something with copper magnets for his arthritis. And then he found he was using a great deal of batteries in a machine he was trying to build to cure himself. So he started experimenting with water batteries, and then he found that he was able to find that one copper magnet, would excite the other magnet, which would in turn excite a third one, then a fourth one. And he set up these unusually high frequencies, and they were able to permeate the water, and he could then actually encode the water with specific frequencies.
Right.
And that water was then encased inside the hardware itself, and it resonates much like a tuning fork would resonate. And so, much like if you bring another tuning fork close to the resonating fork, it too will start to
Picks up the
resonate.
vibration.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So the water running through these units immediately, literally at the speed of light, starts to resonate and takes on, by entrainment, the same set of frequencies as in the units. And the interesting thing about this technology is that it permanently holds those frequencies once it's been energized.
Right, the actual water structure
Yes,
stays very interesting.
stays energized.
Very interesting. So what does one of these little units look like?
Well, here's a photograph up there of a range of them, but this is the hardware itself,
Right.
in line. So one would put it into one's house just at the water line, goes in there, the water runs through and out into your tap and energize water. Or there are actually small portable units.
This works in the same way. It vibrates
Yes,
like in a little unit.
Yeah, this is a small portable handheld unit called a Penergizer, which one can take everywhere. Just put it into a glass, stir it, create a bit of a vortex, leave it for 20 or 30 seconds and take it out. And once again, it's the resonant field effect of the highly energized liquid in there, which permeates the water.
The water that's run through a system like this, inside there, it holds the vibration and then into the glass.
Correct. It holds the vibration and it transmits that information in terms of a frequency or range of frequencies into the liquid that you're energizing.
Now, how does that affect the impurities in water? Say Melbourne water's got, I think, 50 chemicals in it. What happens when we do it with that water?
Well, it will actually reverse the polarity of those chemicals. And so effectively it will change them from left spin to right spin, and that means that they are negated or switched off as far as your metabolism is concerned. It's not having those negative polarity toxins in the system. They merely pass straight through you. So you flush through them. And further to that, when the water has been treated, the energized water is able to actually reverse the polarity of toxins that are lodged in your system. And so it will flush those out as well. There were some studies done in Austria under medical supervision over a period of about 3 months, and a middle-aged couple were actually flushing out toxins, some of which had been outlawed for 20 years as additives to the food chain, like DDT. So they had been stored in them for over 20 years, and they were flushing them out.
So where can the public actually get in contact with you to get one of these systems?
Well, they can call us at our phone number just around the corner in Noosa Heads.
Oh, Noosa Heads.
At 075474 3344.
Beautiful.
And
have you got any comments on the fluoride in Melbourne water?
Well, fluoride is listed by the World Health as a sedative, so in large quantities it's possibly not the best thing to be drinking long term. Fluoride is naturally occurring, but that's a different type of fluoride to the fluoride which is put into water. There's calcium fluoride and there's sodium fluoride. And the substance that's put into the waters is not the naturally occurring fluoride. It has a different property to it. So somebody must have got mixed up at some stage.
Unless it's a conspiracy. Roy here from the Raelian movement. He's going to explain to us a little bit just what they're about. Now, Roy, you've got some pretty interesting claims. Would you like to start out where the message is coming from and what it's going to be about?
Yes, in 1973, a French journalist, Claude Voyant, Rael, was contacted by an extraterrestrial. He was invited on board a craft, and for 6 consecutive days he was dictated a message, and he was asked to spread this throughout humanity. These extraterrestrials, who we refer to as the Elohim, which comes from the Old Testament, means in Hebrew those who came from the sky. Right. The Elohim told Rael that they were responsible for the creation of all life on Earth through the synthesis of DNA. Throughout the ages, they sent messengers, prophets, in order to guide humanity, but also to prepare us for the time which we're living in now, whereby through our own knowledge of science and understanding, we will be able to understand them, but not just to believe anymore. So they've contacted Rael with this last message, and they've asked him to prepare an embassy for them, where they'll be able to meet us officially.
Right, right. Now, before we get to the embassy, what's actually the visual image of these aliens, do you know?
Yes, as they have said in this message, they created us in their image. So genetically they were very much the same as us. They have different races, some of them may look Asian, some look with dark skin, just like we are. Only they're just a little bit smaller than us, though, but yeah, just like us with different races.
Okay. Now, the embassy that we're going to create, whereabouts are we going to put this?
They've actually asked for this embassy to be built in Israel.
Right. Now, is there any connection to gods coming from the sky beforehand? I think if you look back, I think Jehovah came from the sky, many other gods have.
Exactly. All of the ancient religious texts, even the ancient cultures, all talk about gods coming from the sky, not only found in the Bible, but other religious writings throughout the planet. You'll find these references to gods coming from another place. And these are the messages that the Elohim left in the past, so that we would be able to recognise them today.
Right. And why Israel?
Israel, they tell us this is one of the places where the first humans were created, and also the first messages that they left for humanity were with the Israeli people. So that's why they wish to return there.
Okay. Now, is there a time reference made to this happening?
Yes, there is a time reference. On August the 6th, 1945, when the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, the Elohim told Rael that this is when we entered this age of apocalypse, meaning in Greek, the revelation, when we would be able to understand through our own knowledge. They've said the generation that was born after this event won't pass away before they return. So it's almost year 52, so it could be quite soon.
Soon. Any relevance to the end of the millennium?
Not really to the end of the millennium, being that will be the time when they come. We just know that the generation born after the event of the apocalypse will be when they'll return.
Now, I was reading in one of your little pamphlets there that they actually were the seeds of humanity.
Yes.
It's an interesting claim.
Yes, well, they tell us that first when they came here, there was no life, there was only water, and by taking the inert matter and arranging it in a certain way, they were able to construct a molecule, a DNA molecule. They began with just very primitive life forms, single-celled organisms, plant cells. Over a long period of time, they were able to create human beings exactly in their image.
Right. Do you think this is where all the myth of the animal-headed God's human body, that sort of messing around with the DNA?
I think a part of that has come from generally when they show themselves. If you read some of the old scriptures, for instance in the Bible, in the book of Ezekiel, he mentions how these 4 creatures come out of a shining ball, which come from the sky, and they look like a man, but then he goes to describe that they had other heads and that type of thing. He was really just describing the flying suits and that type of thing that they were wearing. But this was the only terminology he had to describe what really would be modern day technology.
Right. Now, has there been any contact made over the last 20 years?
Yes, the contact that they made with humanity was in 1973 when they chose their messenger Rael to.
Nothing since then.
Nothing since then, except that they have told Rael they will continue to show themselves more and more to help to facilitate the spreading of this message, and also to awaken people's minds to ask about who they are.
So the current sightings worldwide, the Raelians, is that
Yep.
these people would be involved in that?
The sightings can be attributed to actually, yes, the spreading of this message that the Raelian movement is doing.
Now, if there's anyone interested in getting in contact with you, how can they get in contact with you?
Yes, they could get in contact with me via my phone number, which is 9758 6057. or they can contact the Australian Railway Movement, which is GPO Box 2397 in Sydney. Yeah.
Okay, right. Thanks a lot for your time, and I hope that tells a few people at home more about the Raelians. What inspired you to come to the Mind Body Spirit show?
I've always been interested in massage,
Right.
and a couple of my close friends have recently started the course at the School of Melbourne's College of Natural Medicine.
All right.
So I'm here with them, basically.
Interesting, isn't it? Now, have you actually learnt anything today that you didn't know previously?
I learned about essential oils,
Great.
about the numerous 50 million different types of massage that there are.
Is this the first time you've been to a Mind Body Spirit show?
Yep, it is.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Okay, and where did you hear of the event?
TV. Yep.
Now, is there any particular avenue of thought that you've picked up here today that you previously didn't have?
Yeah, I actually was interested in this Bowen technique, so I just went and had a session, which was really interesting. Yep. Yeah, it was good.
And you've been interactive with any of the stalls today?
I haven't had any physical interaction, no, but I am definitely more interested in the Reiki now. So, yeah.
Do you believe in aliens in the UFO scenario?
Yeah, I do.
And what stance do you think the UFO/alien scenario is at the moment?
Oh, well, I think it's at the commercial stance.
Yeah?
That's where I think it's at, yeah. So I'm not quite impressed by that, how everyone's trying to cash in on it, and they all think they're aliens, but, you know.
Okay, do you think that the current state of UFOs interacting with the media is actually controlled by the so-called New World Order, or do you think it's just a part of a money-making scheme?
I think it's a bit of both, actually. You know, you probably do have your true UFO alien people doing their little bits of control, but I think a lot of other people are just cashing in on the concept. So.
Okay, well, thanks for your time.
Top Secret TV.
I'm speaking here with Kelly Carhill. She is one of a rare breed of Australians who's had a multiple witness encounter, a UFO experience of the first kind, I guess it would be. And that involves physical ground traces and actual marks on people's bodies, as well as contact with the beings themselves. So, welcome, Kelly.
Hi, David.
How are you?
Not bad.
That's good. Now, I'd like to actually start off firstly by, I think your case is very interesting in the way that it's being portrayed in the media. You've had quite a lot of media attention. Can you take us through some of the good and bad experiences or some of the issues that have raised to do with media?
Yeah, I guess I could. Actually, the only reason that I went public in the first place is thanks to another experiencer in Sydney. He had been doing a little bit of public work himself.